Morning, good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. This is Beth. We are in day one of the rest of the Sherlock Holmes novels, which is our project for October. And today we are doing The Bullies of Buckingham. And I'm at my kitchen table at the beach house with my husband sharing the kitchen table. So I have to do voiceovers because he can't function if I'm talking. I know that sounds crazy because I can function highly when I'm talking. Anyhow, I have cut down some of my painted papers, some of my bought papers, some of my photocopy papers, and fortunately, I worked on these before we left home from the hurricane, and I printed some out. I don't have a printer here yet, but my plan is to do a 6x8, and I am going to, on the front is going to be the cover art from the Lost novels of Sherlock Holmes, and on the back is going to be the synopsis of the book. So, I have to be careful and leave a margin for hole punchers, which I forgot a hole punch, so I'm not punching them just yet. I'm going to stack them up till I get a hole punch. Do I sound scatterbrained? I am scatterbrained. We are living hour by hour here. Fortunately, we have a house to stay in. Fortunately, we have electricity to stay in here at the beach. At home, we have a house, but we don't have electricity, which we're doing a lot better than a lot of other people caught in the hurricane. It's just tragic. But it's causing a lot of stress, just the whole bit of it. So I'm trying not to sound stressed. I'm trying not to sound crazier than normal is my goal. I may or may not achieve it. I don't know. If I don't achieve it, just don't tell me. Let me live in a fantasy world. Speaking of fantasy worlds, today is Bullies of Buckingham. Now, I've seen it spelled different ways, so I actually now notice I have it spelled different ways, but it is what it is. I can't change it because I can't get to a printer. But I did print out some of this stuff ahead of time. Some of my characters, some of my pictures. These are a lot of the places where we're going in this series are pictures that I took. I just printed them on paper in black and white or other colors. And I made a few titles ahead of time on Procreate also, one down day at home before the hurricane. And luckily I printed them and cut them out. So I have some stuff. And I forgot to show you. I got a bracelet. It says, I've been Sherlocked, and then a keychain. So I have clothes to wear. I have proper attire and accoutrement to play all October. So excited for it. And just, we're a little sidetracked by our circumstances, but it could be a whole lot worse. At least I still get to participate, and a lot of other people don't. So, yeah, let's just pretend it's not happening. Let's live in a fantasy world. And the novels of Sherlock Holmes that I just found at a garage sale in the Cotswolds. And Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, 221B Baker Street, London. I wish we could have gone to the pub. Or the museum. I would have loved to have done either one. We drove by the pub. But I think the museum is in the Westminster area, so we were close. We just didn't get to go there. But every day I want to add a little bit of artwork to what I've already established and or maybe create something from scratch. I don't know. I have supplies to do both. But all I know is I'm going to have fun. This is going to be fun. By hook or by crook. We're going to get it done. And I have my favorite supplies with me. I have my favorite people watching, so I'm excited. Getting out my sandy watercolors. These are my beach watercolors. Quite often they have sand in them. So they're a little textured also. I brought a couple jelly plates, small ones, my 4x6 and my little circle one. I brought Neocolor 2s. I brought Stabilos, and I brought some tempera paint sticks and watercolors and a glue stick and a bunch of paper. and a bunch of scraps and some stickers and some store-bought paper. I have some Tim Holtz store-bought paper. I have some Ali Edwards store-bought paper. Um, and I have a couple collage books. So from what I have, we should be able to do 30 days of different book covers that we found at a garage sale in the Cotswolds, as one does. Um, it's just crazy. Fun times here, fun times. And I can't talk when I'm doing my art, so you're going to have to just bear with me. But I am adding graffiti to my page here. You'll see when you get to read the synopsis of the book. But it looks better on camera, actually. I didn't think that yellow showed up that much. So that's great. Um, anyhow, we're trying not to have to move Thursday. Our house is rented, but the office is going to try to talk to the people coming in and see if they can go somewhere else, because then we don't have to move. That would be great. But sometimes you have to honor contracts, hurricane or no hurricane. Um, these are Tim Holt ephemera pieces from this year, 2024. And I'm trying to see if I can fit any in here. These are fabulous, fabulous. Maybe one month I'm just going to make things like this. I don't know. I think I kind of want some of the poison, even though it doesn't apply completely to this book cover, but it applies to the aesthetic, sorta. We're going to make it work. But I just love all these. And there's like little sizes and big sizes and medium sizes. But I'm pulling out a bunch of like the poison, which really there's no poison involved in this book, but it's kind of like the grunginess of the topic, perhaps. My bracelet keeps trying to fall off. I have to keep messing with it. It says I've been Sherlocked, or I am Sherlocked, or something like that. Anyhow, it was super cheap on Etsy, and so was my keychain. I just had to do it. Um, this watching it and doing it has helped with the what is the word I'm looking for? The confusion of my life right now. And I know how lucky we are. I know how lucky we are. Our house is still standing. We have no holes in our roof. We have water, but we don't have electricity, and we won't for a while. That's how much damage we had from electricity. But there are a lot of people that are missing, let alone know where their houses are, or they floated downstream. Our next door neighbor said the lake is super high because all that extra water now is coming downstream, which eventually a lot of it goes into our lake. So they may have to let the dam run a little bit, but there's parts of Columbia that are in dire straits, so they can't let too much water out. But they did empty, this is crazy, they emptied with their dams Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion, which are much smaller lakes, but in preparation for our lake having to be let out. And then our lake feeds into those two lakes, which are farther downstream. It's crazy, crazy. These are Tim Holtz tags that I got, but they're really not the right color scheme. They're pink. There's a lot of pink in it and pastel oranges and blacks. So I don't know if they'll work for this year, but I did like this one, but I actually don't use it. Spoiler alert, I use it for something else, but I just wanted a backdrop for my title. I think going forward, I think I have like 4 or 5 titles done, but going forward, I might make the titles a little bit bigger now that I'm looking at them. But I'm just trying to design a book cover as one does. Actually, I didn't design these. Sherlock Holmes did. No, Arthur Conan Doyle did. But I just found them. I'm going to use that one, though. I mean, Arthur Conan Doyle's going to use that one. Look at that house. Woo, so cool. So I did speed this up 2 times just because I really am still very scatterbrained considering our situation, and I'm trying to not sound so scatterbrained in case new people show up. They're going to think, God, this lady's wackadoodle. Well, there's some that might already think that, but that's okay. It's Halloween. We can be wackadoodle, right? I think so. But yeah, this was just dark enough and some of the right colors that I could use this for a backdrop for a title. Something to ground it to a little bit. But oh, there's some old book covers. That green on the left-hand side is an old book cover. In this ephemera pack, there's a bunch of them, and they're delightful, delightful. I really like this. I'm kind of just messing around with it and seeing what I like, and I think I like that. You can see a little bit of the graffiti, which is kind of what I want. Or, excuse me, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wanted that. I'm his graphic artist. After the fact, after his death, he came back, and now I'm being a graphic artist for him. Anyhow, so fun, so fun. I had so much fun. I have so many other ideas that I was going to do for Halloween. I'm never going to tell you what they are in case I use them next year. But I found the book in the airport at JFK, and I'm like, Sherlock Holmes. And then I kind of deviated several times from what I was going to do, just because I wasn't crazy about the books. Don't tell him I said that. Or my sixth grade self, because I loved him back then, just loved Sherlock Holmes. I was Sherlock Holmes for Halloween several years in a row. Anyhow, this is so much fun, and it helps with my mental state at the moment. Art is the best healer, I'm telling you. Amy Tangerine just put out a video, and she apparently has stuff going on too, and she's like, when all else fails, just make art. And that's the truth. That is the truth. I hope. Oh, Blick Art in the River District in Asheville. I've been there several times and talked to you about halls and stuff from there. It's gone. That whole River District is underwater. Lots of underwater. And all those buildings are either gone or destroyed. Yeah, it's just, we're going to hear lots of stuff like that over the next few weeks, I have a feeling. Okay, now this is the back of my cover, Sherlock Holmes cover. But this is where the synopsis of the story will go. Although, I'm not putting them on here currently just because I can't print them out. I was going to write them and just tape them on there until I could get home and type them out. But I think I'm just going to wait. My brain is scattered and I don't want to make a commitment yet on the synopsis. But at the end of this video, I will read it to you. I do have it written. I just don't know how I want it, what the end product will look like when I'm ready to put it down somewhere. So when Sherlock Holmes is ready, when Arthur Conan Doyle is ready to put it down. Anyhow, so I think I'm going to let you just finish watching because the synopsis story is getting ready to start. So I will see you all tomorrow with another book title from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle with the characters of Sherlock Holmes. Thanks for watching. As always, bye. But keep listening. The Bullies of Buckingham. Who is painting graffiti on the historical gates of Buckingham Palace and the Queen Victoria statue? The palace has acquired the skills and the insight of the #1 consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, to solve this unsightly mystery.